there are a lot of beloved actresses in the Hallmark universe. But I honestly don't think there's another one who inspires quite the same specific kind of devotion as Erin Krakow. It's not just that Hardys love watching her play Elizabeth Thatcher Thornton. It's that everyone who has ever actually worked alongside her, co-stars, interviewers, longtime friends in the cast, seems to describe her using the exact same words over and over again. Kind, generous, someone who spotlights everyone else before herself. Let's go through why that reputation exists, what her castmates and fans have actually said about her, and then let's go all the way back to the beginning of her story, because I think her path to Hope Valley explains a lot about who she became once she got there. Let's start with the praise itself, because I think it says more than any summary I could give you. When Erin married her longtime co-star Ben Rosenbaum in June 2025, the entire WCTH cast flooded the comments with genuine warmth rather than the generic congratulations you'd expect. Coven Smith, who plays Lee Coulter, wrote simply, "Perfect couple. Love the shoes be." Pascal Hutton, who plays Rosemary Coulter, wrote, "Love you both with all my heart." And Kevin McGarry, who plays Nathan Grant, wrote, "Beautiful pictures, beautiful friends, beautiful husband and wife." Fans were just as thrilled. One person wrote, "Y'all dropped a whole wedding like it was a Tuesday Fit check. Plot twist of the year." Another wrote something that I think genuinely captures how much this fandom has grown to care about her personally, rather than just her character. "You deserve each other and the best life has to offer for the rest of your days together." And that same warmth shows up in the smaller, sillier moments too. When Erin was pregnant and posted a pun-filled announcement sitting on a bench she jokingly called a log, castmate Andrea Brooks, who plays Faith Carter, had actually tried to recreate that exact same pun during all 3 of her own pregnancies and never quite managed it. Instead of any rivalry over the bit, Brooks showed up in Erin's comments cheering her on with real delight. That's such a small moment, but I think it tells you everything about the culture on that set genuine happiness for each other rather than competition. Her friendship with Lori Loughlin is another piece of this puzzle I think fans deeply respect. After Loughlin was released from prison in 2020 and cut from the show amid the college admissions scandal, Erin never distanced herself. She told Fox News that Loughlin remains one of her dearest friends and said plainly, "I would love to work with her. She is a total pro, especially when it comes to comedy." She publicly hoped Loughlin would eventually return to Hope Valley. And now, years later, that hope has actually come true, with Loughlin confirmed to return for season 14. I think loyalty like that, said out loud, while it was still genuinely uncertain whether it would ever pay off, tells you a lot about who Erin actually is off camera. The same is true of her relationship with Brooke Shields. When Shields returned to the show for season 13 to reprise Charlotte Thornton, Erin revealed the two of them had quietly stayed close the entire time Shields was away. "Brooke and I have stayed in touch over the years, and we have a lovely friendship," she told Good Housekeeping. "I always hoped that one day the stars would align and we'd be able to get her back, because there really is so much to mine from her character." Fans lit up over their reunion, with comments calling their scenes together pure gold and fantastic. There's also a smaller but genuinely touching detail from someone who actually interviewed her. Writer Ruth Hill described losing all track of time during her conversation with Erin, saying she was so sweet and always careful to spotlight her co-stars and others she has worked with. Hill also referenced a moment where fellow actor Dan Lissing praised Erin at a Hardy's reunion, specifically for never judging others and only ever showing kindness. I think that's the kind of compliment that only means something when it comes from someone who has actually spent years working beside you. Now, let's go all the way back to where all of this actually started, because I think Erin Krakow's own journey explains exactly why she carries herself this way. Erin Elisa Krakow was born September 5, 1984 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She later moved to Wellington, Florida, with her parents, Dr. Elliot Krakow and Morgan Krakow, and her younger brother, Kyle. Her own mother has actually pinpointed the very beginning of her love of performing to the moment Kyle was born, when Erin was 5.5 years old, and suddenly, for the first time, no longer the only child in the family. She attended the Alexander W. Dreyfus Jr. School of the Arts in West Palm Beach, where she got to combine regular academics with serious training in musical theater and scene study. She said directly that experience helped her realize acting was truly her passion. From there, she went on to study at the Juilliard School in New York, earning her Bachelor of Fine Arts as a classically trained actress. While there, she took on some genuinely demanding roles, including both Viola and Sebastian in Twelfth Night, Helena in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Yelena in Black Russian. It was also at Juilliard that she first connected with future Hallmark co-star Luke McFarlane. After graduating, she built a real career on stage before television ever entered the picture. She played Shelby in a 2008 regional production of Steel Magnolias in Fort Worth, and then in the fall of 2009, she starred as Cecily Cardew in a production of The Importance of Being Earnest at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis, directed by Joe Dowling. I think this detail is genuinely one of the most romantic footnotes in her entire biography, because this is the exact production where Ben Rosenbaum first saw her perform and, in his own words, developed what he later called a crush on her talent, years before either of them ever set foot in Hope Valley. In 2013, she was even cast as Elizabeth Bennet in a new adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, though she ended up exiting the production just before rehearsals began. Her first major television role came on Lifetime's Army Wives, where she played Specialist Tanya Gabriel, a medic stationed in Afghanistan, appearing in 18 episodes across 3 seasons between 2010 and 2012. She worked alongside Catherine Bell on that show, another familiar face who would later become a Hallmark staple herself through the Good Witch franchise. Erin also picked up guest work on shows like Castle during this stretch of her career, steadily building experience while she waited for her true breakout role. That role arrived in 2014 when she was cast as Elizabeth Thatcher in When Calls the Heart, based on Jeanette Oakes' beloved book series. It became the defining role of her career, and she didn't just star in it, she eventually became an executive producer on the series as well, helping shape the show from the inside as it grew into one of Hallmark's most beloved dramas. Alongside WCTH, she's built out an extensive Hallmark movie resume, starring as Miranda Chester across the Father Christmas trilogy, opposite Niall Matter, beginning with Finding Father Christmas in 2016, which set a record-breaking premiere for the network at the time, followed by Engaging Father Christmas and Marrying Father Christmas. Her other Hallmark credits include Chance at Romance and A Cookie Cutter Christmas, both in 2014, Sense, Sensibility and Snowmen in 2019, It Was Always You in 2021, The Wedding Cottage in 2023, and both Blind Date Book Club and Santa Tell Me in 2024, the latter reuniting her with original WCTH co-star Daniel Lissing, and her own words about why this show connects so deeply with its audience genuinely tie this whole story together. She said, while our show takes place in the early 1900s, it's telling stories that still feel very current, themes that we're experiencing today. And at a WCTH and Hope Valley 1874 celebration event earlier this year, she put it even more simply. I think there's just always been a bit of magic in Hope Valley. I honestly think that same description fits her own career just as well. A theater kid from Florida who trained at Juilliard found her real breakthrough on a frontier drama, married the man she fell for on a Minneapolis stage over a decade earlier, and somehow, through every step of it, became the person her own castmates describe as the kindest one in the room. When Calls the Heart Season 14 begins filming this year, with Erin Krakow returning as Elizabeth Thornton alongside her husband Ben Rosenbaum as Mike Hickam. Drop a comment and tell me, what's your favorite Erin Krakow moment, on screen or off? And did anything in her early theater career surprise you? Because I honestly think knowing she met her husband performing Oscar Wilde in Minneapolis makes every Elizabeth and Nathan scene hit just a little bit differently now.